Expropriation begins today. Residents in Springbok in the Northern Cape say they're more than capable of working the land they live on. They just need access to it. eNCA's Pheladi Sethusa is there. She joins us now live. Pheladi, so of course there's lots of contention around the land debate and how it should actually unfold. What are people saying there?
Hi, Shahan. So we've been here for about 2 days already, and a lot of the people we've been able to meet on the farms here and in town here speak with one voice when they say they are in favor of amending the constitution to make land expropriation possible. A lot of them are people who used to work on farms, still seasonally work on farms, and say they have the know-how to work with any piece of land that they can be afforded.
There have been 700 submissions made to Parliament and this committee in particular already, Pheladi. So, of course, there's no doubt that people are vocal about this issue and want it to happen quite fast.
Definitely, Shahan. I don't know if you can see a little bit behind me, but people are already lining up, and a lot of them were here very early from about 8 a.m. with their pieces of paper, sort of rehearsing what they would say when they get their 5 to 10 minutes in today's hearing. And going back to that number of 700,000 submissions that this committee has received, we're told it's the largest number of submissions ever received by a parliamentary committee. And if we actually just take a second to think about that number, they have about 30 days to work through those submissions, which essentially means that if we divide that into 30 days, it's 23,000 submissions that they have to process every single day until August, when they'll compile that report. So they have a lot of work ahead of them, as well as listening with a keen ear to what people have to say at these 34 hearings throughout the country.
Now, we're not going to only hear from people who want land, disgruntled people. We're also going to hear from people who say that their property is theirs.
Definitely, Shahan. A bulk of the submissions that Parliament has received also say that this shouldn't happen at all, that the frameworks already exist to make some sort of restitution available. So I assume we're going to hear a plethora of opinions and voices today. But just to remember that today, the committee members don't want to hear people's stories around restitution. They want to hear simply whether they are in favor or not. So if you're in favor, explain how you want it to happen. If you're not in favor, explain why you're not in favor of amending the constitution to make this possible.
Now, of course, political parties are at play here as well. They will be able, through their members, through their supporters on the streets in different towns, to get their views across.
Definitely. We've already seen some COPE members here, not out in COPE regalia, but they've told us they are members of COPE. We're also expecting some EFF members out here today, but no one's really dressed in their party clothes. A lot of the people here are just ordinary farm workers from remote farming areas in and around Springbok.
Now, let's talk more about the area you're in. You filed a story yesterday about people saying the government just needs to make this happen. They say that they have the resources, they just want the land for this to continue and go ahead fast.
Yes, so the particular area we were in yesterday, Good House, is very far removed, Shahan. It took us about a 3-hour drive, to get about 120 kilometers outside of town, because obviously the roads aren't paved and all of that. So they're very far removed. They have very little access to any type of services, but they're content with what they have. They have little pieces of land where their houses are situated, and they are trying to work that land. But they say for the past few years they've been desperately appealing to this municipality and the province particularly to try and get more land just to grow some vegetables, some fruit, so that they can at least sell that to keep a livelihood of sorts. But they haven't been able to have any help in that regard. So they really do feel like they're alone and that they've been neglected, and are really just begging for a piece of land so they can do something with it.
All right, thanks so much for that. Appreciate it. eNCA reporter Pheladi Sethusa live from Springbok in the Northern Cape.